Okay, good evening. Good evening. This is Rashad Mitchell. Um, Comes to you live from my YouTube channel, like a team on my part series, the week that was college football history review, the next 61 college football season. Now resume with week 8, November 11th, 1961. The games that were played during week 8, November 11th, 1961. So we're gonna get into it. We'll get into it right now. We're gonna start with Columbia beating Dartmouth 35-14. Notre Dame beat Pittsburgh by a score of 26-20. Florida beat Georgia by a score of 21-14. Tennessee upset number 9 Georgia Tech 10-6. Yellow Jackets number 9 national ranking was ruined and upset that pivoted on only turnover of contest in the first quarter. But Georgia Tech quarterback Stan Gann lost fumble at own 20-yard line to Volunteers defensive guard Larry Richards. Kicker Gary Cannon followed with 31-yard field goal for Tennessee. Game turned in fourth quarter when Charging Jackets defensive lineman trapped Glenn Glass as he tried to punt Volunteers 37-yard line, but Tech was flagged for offsides and Glass resultant punt went all the way to the Jackets 3-yard line. So ensuing punt out left Tennessee in good position at Engineers 36-yard line. Tailback Malin Faircloth big running factor all day. Pitched victory sealing 22-yard touchdown to my end Mike Stratton, and Gann capped 77-yard drive with a touchdown run, but it was insufficient for Georgia Tech. Number 7 Purdue, number 6 Michigan State was upset by Purdue 7-6. Purdue, which enjoyed 241 yards to 197, Purdue, which enjoyed 241 yards to 195 yards of offensive stat edge, drove 60 yards to 1-yard line in the second quarter. A strong defense of Michigan State dug into hole late in the first quarter. Guard linebacker Charlie Brown ignited Spartans' early second quarter touchdown with interception and return of a pass for Boilermakers quarterback Gary Hogan to Purdue 32-yard line. Michigan State fullback George Sames, outstanding also as linebacker, split middle of line to score from the 11-yard line. But reliable end kicker Art Brandstatter had his conversion kick tipped by left hand of Boilermakers defensive tackle Don Brum. Fullback Virginia Donaldson keyed Purdue's winning drive in the third quarter with 3 runs that earned first downs. Boilers quarterback Ron DiGravio hit halfback Tom Boyce in the flat, and Boyce wriggled through 2 Michigan State tacklers to score a 15-yard touchdown. Guard kicker Skip O successfully kicked winning conversion. Evidence of hard-hitting action was found in combined rushing stats of 107 carries for 301 yards for a 2.8-yard average. Minnesota, number 5 team in the country, beat Iowa 16-9. Alert Golden Gophers fell on 3 Iowa fumbles and snagged 3 interceptions. The grit and muscle were keystones of classic Big Ten tussle as Minnesota turned block punt into touchdown to break open a tight 3-2 contest in the fourth quarter. Gophers center linebacker Bob Frisbee had presented inadvertent 2 points to Iowa in the first quarter when he made an interception at 1-yard line, so momentarily lost his balance and was tackled by Hawkeyes and Fulton Rogers in end zone. Now, although Minnesota was stopped 3 inches from goal line in the fourth quarter, the resulting field position set stage for quarterback defensive back Wayne Teagan's interception at Hawkeyes 44-yard line. Minnesota quarterback Sandy Stevens followed with 39-yard touchdown pass to halfback Bill Muncy for 10-2 lead, and quickly go for center linebacker Dick Enger, who had 2 fumble recoveries, block punt of Iowa 21-yard line, and John Campbell chased and covered bounding ball in end zone for a 16-2 lead. Momentum had turned right after second half kickoff. Iowa opened third quarter with march to Minnesota 5-yard line, but Hawkeyes fullback Bill Curtis lost a fumble to linebacker Enger at 3-yard line, and Gophers defensive tackle Bobby Bell recovered Iowa halfback Bernie Wyatt's bobble punt reception at Minnesota 45-yard line as punter Stevens punted out of end zone. Iowa was only able to score a touchdown in the last 3 seconds on a 33-yard pitch from quarterback Mike Zakowski to end Cloyd Webb. Oklahoma upset number 10, Missouri, by a score of 7-0. Now, Tigers quarterback Ron Taylor arched a 40-yard pass to end Conrad Hitchler to Oklahoma 30-yard line in the first quarter. But Sooner defensive line obviously peaked to play and rejected Missouri's four smacks at the goal line. So Sooners halfback Jimmy Carpenter soon reversed poor field position with 44-yard punt return. Halfback defensive back Mike McClellan later made touchdown-saving tackle of Mizzou halfback Norm Beal, who had 92 yards on 13 carries, who made 34-yard dash to Oklahoma 44-yard line. Carpenter and McClellan teamed up in the second quarter on halfback option pass for 14-yard touchdown. Now, ball was away just as Carpenter was leveled on pass rush by Hitchler. Game-deciding score came after Oklahoma center linebacker Wayne Lee fell on fumble by Missouri halfback Bill Tobin at Mizzou 43-yard line. Oklahoma turned second half over to its defense, led by ends Ronnie Payne and John Minion, to remain unbeaten in Columbia since 1945. Frustrated Tigers, who failed on 4 opportunities close to the Oklahoma goal line, outgained their foes 262 yards to 168 yards. Next, we had Nebraska beating Iowa State by a score of 16-13. You had Utah upset number 8 Colorado 21-12. The Orange Bowl panel was left in shock at the upsets of both their prime targets, Georgia Tech and Colorado. Things started well for both those as they went 73 yards after opening kickoff to end Jerry Hillenbrand's 10-yard touchdown catch from quarterback Gail Wheatner as halfback Teddy Woods contributed 17 and 18-yard runs. But many of Buffalo's regulars had played 50 minutes in 4 of the last 5 games, so Coach Sonny Grandulius immediately brought in his second unit. So against the Buffalo subs, surprising, Utah answered right back on sharp quarterback play to Gary Hertzfeld, who kept counter drive with 8-yard touchdown pass. Halfback Jerry Overton momentum now belonged to Utes, and they built 21-6 lead on touchdowns by fullback Doug Wasco. Utes and Marv Fleming caught 5 passes for 64 yards, while they also gained 233 yards rushing behind Wasco. And halfbacks Dennis Zito and Bud Times so falling Colorado defense. Buffalo's halfback Leon Mavity partly made up for his having bobbled second quarter end zone pass with late 78-yard touchdown grab. There was insufficient time for Colorado comeback. Washington State beat Oregon 22-21. Previously held back by nagging injuries, losing fullback George Reed of underdog Cougars rushed for 108 yards and scored 3 touchdowns, including 1-yard game winner in the fourth quarter. Reed augmented quarterback kicker Mel Mellon 27-yard field goal in first quarter with 2-yard touchdown run. A second quarter for 10-0 upper hand for Washington State. Bruising fullback Jim Josephson scored first of his 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. So Ducks trailed 16-7 at halftime. Sizzling sophomore halfback Mel Renfro provided Oregon with 21-16 lead in the third quarter. Now, in AP poll, November 13th, Texas was number 1. Number 2 was Alabama. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, Louisiana State. Number 5, Minnesota. Number 6, Mississippi. Number 7, Purdue. Number 8, Colorado. Number 9, Michigan State. And number 10, Syracuse. The clues look at week 8, the week that was, the games that were played on November 11th, 1961. Please like and subscribe to the channel, comment, the way you can support the channel. This is Rashad Mitchell. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.